Welcome back to the Woj Lowe trade deadline special, and let's talk about the rollicking race for the number 8 seed in the Western Conference, currently being held by the Memphis Grizzlies.
You used to have to win like 47, 48 games to get in the playoffs in the West, not anymore.
And yet 7 and 8 in the West, still way better than 7 and 8 in the East. The Spurs are trailing that race. They have a 22-year consecutive playoff streak, tied for the longest ever. They also have some veterans who may or may not have trade value in LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, and Rudy Gay, and a bunch of young players kind of waiting in the wings. No one quite knows what the Spurs are ever going to do. They rarely make trades at this time of year. What's the sense?
Well, the sense that I've gotten with the Spurs is, they have really put up on their board all the different scenarios, some of which include liquidating everybody. How many young assets and picks could we get for our veteran players? Or let's go out and try to improve this team and get in the playoffs. But, they have explored deals with DeMar DeRozan, with LaMarcus Aldridge. I think Rudy Gay, there's not a lot of value out there for him right now. But they've asked for a lot from teams. And those are two players who, any contender might have some interest in. DeRozan can opt out of his deal. He's looking for a big extension. Aldridge is signed through next season. But the sense now, I think, is they'll probably go forward with these guys and then address it in the offseason. Even if DeMar DeRozan was going to leave in free agency, they could still work a sign and trade, get something for him. But it feels like they still would like to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they would. They're proud of that streak, and they should be proud of that streak. It means it's meaningful. It means something. We compete. It's not just win or bust in the NBA, title or bust. It means something to make the playoffs. DeRozan is kind of like the guard Andre Drummond, where the rest of the league is like, that player option kind of freaks us out. It's a lot of money. Do we think his old school game kind of drives winning as much as we need it to? And Aldridge, they made, I thought, a puzzling decision to guarantee his contract for next season at a big number, whereas if they wanted to trade him when it was partially guaranteed, it was, I think, more attractive. So we'll see. Let's talk about the team that they traded Kawhi Leonard to, the defending champion Toronto Raptors, second in the East, 37-14, I think. Just an absolute remarkable story. A thrill to watch, a really fun team to watch. And by the way, I think they're real. Yeah. I don't see why they're any less real than Boston, Indiana, Philadelphia, you name it in the East. And I'll tell you this, they're not afraid of the Bucks. They respect the Bucks, but they're not afraid of them.
This is such a tough-minded veteran team with a young star in Pascal Siakam, who just gets better and better, went from most improved player to an all-star this year, a max player, and they want to get him in the playoffs. They want to get him more reps in the postseason. Before the year, you thought, well, maybe at the trade deadline, Marcus Saul, Serge Ibaka, who are going to be free agents, maybe they might look to move them. No way. They want to add players. Those are players they could re-sign in the offseason. And what Masai Ujiri has shown you with his front office, the idea of trading for some late first-round pick, they can get undrafted players who get in their rotation. A rookie Terrence Davis. Pascal Siakam was the end of the first round. They don't need your first-round picks to
your bad ones. Yeah, they don't need your low first-round
to harvest the league, to harvest the world for talent. They are all in, and again, another team you don't want to play in this postseason.
If they could find a way to not, everyone talked about selling those players for assets. If they could find a way to buy, if they could get one more shooter, that becomes a really dangerous team. They can make a real run to try and defend its title. I just don't know how they do that without putting OG Anunoby in a deal. That's the asset that swings it. And Masai Ujiri is as sharp as they come. And his trade record suggests he doesn't put young players that talented into deals. He waits until he can get things at the price he wants. Speaking of Masai Ujiri, he is much rumored to be James Dolan's everything of choice to run the New York Knicks now that the Knicks have a little vacuum of power at the top. What's happening with them at the deadline, and are they willing? Can they get Masai Ujiri? And by the way, if I'm Masai Ujiri, if whoever's running that team, I want to make this draft pick they have coming up, and I want to pick the coach, right?
Well, no question. And I think the whole question for Jim Dolan is, who does he want? What kind of autonomy does he want to give? Here's what he has not done in any of his recent searches. Maybe back to Donnie Walsh, who was the most accomplished executive, who had a sterling NBA career as a GM. He's not said, I'm going out into the marketplace and I'm going to find the best available, credible, accomplished executive to come to the New York Knicks. He's not done that. And it is still a question this time if he's going to do that. He's got some interest in the agent community. And the sense that I've gotten is, as much as he's coveted Masai Ujiri, the hurdles that it would take to get there from draft compensation to Toronto allowing him out of his contract to Masai wanting to do this. He seems that he has lost his desire to go forward and chase that. And you always wonder about the process and the people Jim Dolan listens to when he makes these important hires for the Knicks.
I can't believe we're still talking about this, that we're still having these conversations about it. They're going to have to go out and get someone with experience, with a track record. I think Masai would be perfect there. I think he would do a great job there. And, we'll see.
In fact, there's any number of top executives in the NBA, for as dysfunctional as New York has been, they would line up for the chance to run the Knicks and try to do it at Madison Square Garden.
Well, back to the trade deadline when we come back. We'll talk about players we would like to see and deals we would like to see. Let's speak it into existence like LeVar Ball.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.